I'm Jason Rankin from AgResearch, one of the partners in the EuroDairy project, and we're here on the farm of Brian McCracken, who's one of the EuroDairy pilot farmers, to discuss a little bit of what Brian does to aid biodiversity on his farm. The farm is located just south of Belfast in Northern Ireland. You can see Scotland behind us, the Isle of Man over there, and in the background Strangford Lough. So Brian, do you want to outline your farming system, cow numbers and so on?
Yeah, we farm, we're sitting about 450 to 720 feet above sea level, and we calve this year 260 cows on about 130 hectares of land farmed. So we're a spring calving system using Kiwi cross and New Zealand Friesian genetics.
And you operate a mainly grassland-based system here with spring calving. So what kind of stocking rate do you have on the farm here?
We're stocked at about a cow to the hectare. Slightly higher maybe in the summertime with peak growth, 3.3 cows to hectare whenever the growth is optimum. But at the end of the year, it's a cow to the acre, 2.5 cows to the hectare.
So on this farm, we're going to be talking in a moment about the constructed wetlands, but in addition to that, you have a number of hedges here which obviously add biodiversity. How do you manage them to promote wildlife?
Yeah, we have a considerable distance of hedgerows, both on our own land and rented land. We manage those by annual and biannual cutting, depending on the fence lines and so on, so as we can manage stock. We have unimproved grassland, rough land behind us as well, which is part of the farm. And we've planted, as you can see, a lot of trees and hedges over the years in different areas.
Okay, Brian, you're actually here in quite a population centre. Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're living in a triangle of three large towns with the city of Belfast, Newtownards and Bangor, and there's about 500,000 people within 5 miles. So we have to be aware of our situation, so on how we treat the farm, how we look after animals, because there's a lot of urban interest in what goes on in this area. So I think that is a very important point, and it's probably more important in the future.
Brian, you have adopted your farming system here to exploit and make the most out of grass. What has been the reasons for relying so much on grass, and how do you manage that to really make the most of the grass you have here?
Well, the system that we run, the spring calving system, is reliant on spring, summer and autumn grass. So our focus has been on developing the farm, making the most of our asset, which is a large grazable area, which gives us the opportunity to run a spring calving system. So we have a calving date that is relative to this farm, which is later than most because the spring comes later and the autumn comes earlier. So we have a limited growth that we have in the year, and we will run the farm and manage it accordingly.
We're down here at this biodiversity feature, the constructed wetlands on Brian's farm. Brian, what was the reason behind building this?
Well, this was constructed in 2003, and at that stage dirty water was an issue on the farm, and I had seen an example of this system in the south of Ireland, and I realised that it would be an ideal system for ourselves. We had the topography, the geography that would suit it, and it took up about 1.25 hectares, 1.5 hectares of the farm, and it gave me it sorted out my dirty work problem and gave me a wildlife feature as well.
So can you just explain how the system works, from the water flowing in the top to this lovely lake we have in the background?
So the system is the size of it is equated to twice the dirty yard area that we have in the yard. The dirty water runoff, winter runoff and the yard runoff then work its way through 9 ponds just using gravity the water travels through the reeds, it slows down, it deposits the phosphates, the nitrates are used up by the plants, and then the last pond at the end is my bioindicator where water travels into that and then to the river, and that gives me an indication with the fish life that we stock the pond with and the invertebrates that are in the pond give me an indication of the cleanliness of the water.
So Brian, this was obviously put in to solve a certain extent an environmental problem, saving you a lot of slurry storage, saving you carting a lot of water out and burning diesel and so on. But much more than that, it has actually now, as you say, developed into an ecological focus area, greatly enhancing biodiversity, and you've seen ducks and waterhen and as you say, the invertebrates stocked here. But what have you done? You've obviously planted out the trees and bushes, you've got 2 islands here. What have you done to encourage the wildlife, and what wildlife have you seen come here?
Yeah, well, we've audited the farm and this area as well, and we have over 40 species of birds on the farm. We have a lot of winter ducks that arrive in, and then we have a lot of summer birds that come to it, and they nest here, rear their young, multiple flocks of mallard and tufted duck and water hens and coots, little grebes. So there's a multitude of varieties. I haven't introduced them. We have eels in the pond as well that have that travel the river, which we found when we were doing a bit of restorative work, and we have stocked it on occasions with rainbow trout. So it gives us an amenity as well for that.
And I see you've planted quite a number of trees around the site as well.
Yeah, we planted 1,000 trees in the initial planting, with about all sort of native varieties and in drifts. We have 2 islands, and we planted a lot the banks with a wildflower mix that was suitable to wetland areas. So we planted according to what we needed in different areas, and it was an investment at the time, but the investment is a multitude return. We don't have to spread the water or store it, and we have got a great feature for the farm, which I enjoy, and other people enjoy. People from the local environment and the areas that walk up and down the road, they're counting the ducks all the time. This is the area where the reed bed system enters the local river system, and we will take a sample of water. And as you can see, the water is clear. There's a low BOD, single figures, that has been tested, and it's as clean as the water that it's going into.
So Brian, we actually have here now a lovely lake full of clear water. So not only is this a wildlife feature, but then I understand you're reusing some of this water to save on mains water?
Yeah. Yes, we installed a well on the side, so we filter the water through stones to a well pump. We pump the water back up and we use it for wash down in the parlour, and it does save us £3,000 to £4,000 a year in non-purchased mains water. So we're just really creating a cycle. The water comes down and it goes back up again.